Always great having my next guest on the show. It's Nathaniel Grimard, who will be back in action on May the 13th at NEF 52 when he takes on Robert Wusstig. Nathaniel, how are you?
Good man, how are you?
I'm good. Happy to have you back as always, man. You know, you're one of my favorite guys to talk to. Excited to see you back in the NEF cage too. But let's start with camp. Obviously, Nostos, one of the premier gyms in all of New England. How has it been thus far?
It's good, man. I can't wait to be back. I feel good. I'm excited. I think it's a great fight too.
And obviously, I mean, you have there's just so many killers at Nostos. No matter who you're going with day to day, I'm sure it's just changing up depending on who your opponent is. But as far as getting ready for Robert, have you been working with anyone in particular in preparation for this fight?
Not particular, I'm getting great looks from everybody. We have a really tough gym. So I mean, my main training partners are pretty much Kyle Hill, Kyle Pufall, Ross Danner, all those great guys. But I'm really trying to get working with everybody. Everybody can give me certain looks, different looks, and this helps you improve your game wherever you can.
Are there some days where you're just like, man, I can't wait till this is over with? Because I'm sure it's such a grind. You're going in there with so many tough, training partners, so many tough, well-rounded mixed martial artists. Is there days where you're just kind of like worn out?
Yeah, for sure. I think everybody has those days where they just don't want to be there. Their body's a little beat up, but I mean that's just the sport. You got to embrace it and just embrace the grind, really.
Is there someone in this camp that's maybe been pushing you the hardest? Someone that's been really going hard when you guys spar or just rolling around on the mat?
Not exactly. No, I mean, we literally have such a tough gym where people are pushing me every day. Even if they're trying to make their amateur debut, we have John Hersey's making his amateur debut. We have some guys getting ready on future cards too. So those guys are just pushing me every day. Everybody's just so well rounded. Where Kyle Hill will be my corner, so I'm going to work with him. He's, you know how good he is. He's pushing me every day. Kyle Pufall, just all those guys, man. The list could go on about who gives me good rounds.
Does Devin ever get the itch to come back? Does he ever talk about it, or are those days behind him?
Yeah, yeah. I'd love to see him come back, but he's still recovering, from some previous injuries and just focusing on his guys. His gym's doing so well and it's always growing with fighters. So I think that's just where his focus is all on.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's talk about Robert Wusstig. Again, sometimes it's tough with fighters to really gauge how good they are. You look at his record, 7-12. So the casual fan might dismiss him and not really give him his kudos as to how dangerous he is. He just took on Mo Kanani at Combat FC3, and he went the distance with him. He lost to UD. What's the most dangerous part of Robert's game? What kind of a scare do you think he could bring to you come May the 13th?
I just think he's a super tough and durable guy. He's you've seen what Mo does to guys. He puts guys away pretty quickly. And Robert stood there with him on his feet for 3 rounds and just took all the shots. So he's super durable. I think he's willing to go into those deep waters if he wants to. And he's willing to grapple and strike with me. So I think he's my toughest opponent yet to date, and I can't wait for it.
Really? So you think he's tougher than anyone you fought, amateur or pro? This is your toughest opponent.
I think he is. I look back at my losses. They're all fix. They're all very fixable losses. They're just small mistakes, I think, on my end. But this guy, he has 7 pro wins. That's more wins than I have even pro fights. And he's been doing it a long time. He's a veteran of the game. So I'm expecting a great fight with him.
All right. And in preparation, getting ready for him. I mean, obviously you're a mixed martial artist, so you're working on every aspect of your game. But is there one area where maybe you're focused a little bit more on, for this specific opponent?
Not specifically, no. I think I'm just trying to get better everywhere. My couple losses have been by submission, so I've been trying to work my jiu-jitsu a lot, just tightening up everything, getting better on my feet. So it's really just it takes time, man. Just getting better and getting that experience to be in there to improve everywhere.
If I'm not mistaken, this is your 4th time fighting at the Aura nightclub in Portland, Maine. Do you like that? Are you happy to be back? Do you wish you were fighting at another venue? What's your thoughts on fighting at the Aura again?
I mean, I personally don't love Aura to fight at. I think it's great for a fan to watch the fights, just as close as you can be. It's kind of more of like a nightclub vibe, but for fighters, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it, but I'll do it for NEF.
Yeah, no doubt. I have to imagine as a fighter, just the way that it's set up, and people looking down on you, and then everyone down, on the main floor looking up at it. It is kind of a cool venue, but yeah, I know preparing, hitting pads, getting ready, warming up. It's a little bit cramped, so there is that aspect to it. Let's talk about NEF 51. Round one TKO victory over Carl Langston. Could it have gone any better? Anything you can kind of pick at that you wish you maybe could have done different?
Not really. I think I did what I was supposed to do. Maybe I would have wanted it a little bit sooner, but I mean, it's getting a little greedy. I think if you want that, it's just I literally went out there, did what I was supposed to do against Carl. All respect to him. He always takes tough fights, but I had no business really standing and like trading with him. If I can get him out of there quickly, then I should.
How difficult is that, Nathaniel, to go in against a tough opponent like Carl Langston, someone very much like your upcoming opponent and Robert Wusstig? Their record maybe isn't as great as others, right? So I have to imagine you're feeling that pressure to go in there and not just win, but show out. Is that hard to go in against someone that is a dangerous fighter and do your thing and secure a win?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always going to be pressure no matter what. Just, I mean, it's a fight, you got a lot of people there for you, but to be honest, the promoting stuff's all cool to it, but it's not going to help you win a fight. I love the build up to the fight, but I have to go out there and perform either way. So it's just for me, it's just another fight. And for this fight, I'm more motivated than I had been. My weight's perfect. I'm in great shape. So I'm literally looking to go out there and have my best performance yet.
You're 3-2 now as a professional. If you get this win, obviously you'll be 4-2. Where do you feel like that puts you as far as taking that next step? Do you anticipate you're going to be fighting for NEF a couple more times, or are you starting to look at maybe regionally like a CES, fighting on UFC Fight Pass? Like, what's your thought process as far as moving forward?
Yeah. So right now, yeah, I'm maybe end of this year or next year, those bigger promotions, whatever I need to do to get to that next level, fighting on Fight Pass. But from right now, the short term goal would be looking at that NEF belt. Devin is my coach, and he's a great mentor, role model. He got that pro belt. I had the amateur belt, so that's my goal right now is to get that featherweight belt for NEF.
Okay, fair enough. Let's recap NEF 51 a little bit. You had a few teammates fighting on that card. Let's start with the main event. Ross Dinar beating Bruce Boyington in the third round via TKO. That was an insane fight. What's the takeaway from that main event and what Ross did to go in there and beat a veteran in Boyington?
Yeah, Ross. I've known Ross for a long time. He's a great guy. And he's an inspiration, man. I wouldn't be, I mean, obviously I don't want to take tough fights, but I want to go out there and have a performance kind of how like Ross did. He's an exciting fighter. He's going to go out there and dig deep. He's not going to break under anybody's pressure, and he's going to take the fight to anybody. And I mean, look at his two fights. He's fought Mo and Bruce. It doesn't really get much tougher than that for starting off your pro career. So I think the sky's the limit for him.
Kyle Pufall won the belt, beating Ed Davis, and what was easily the fight of the night, as far as I'm concerned. And I talked to Devin and Carolyn before the fight, and I don't want to say that they were like dismissive of Ed, because that wasn't the case. They said how tough he was, but I just thought basically talking to them that they thought that Kyle was going to go in there and really put it on him. And this fight turned out to be very back and forth, a great fight. Were you guys surprised as a team as to just how tough Ed was? Were you expecting the fight to be that good?
Yeah, I think Ed made a lot of improvements from his last fight. He tightened up his guard, and he is super tough. And he's a huge lightweight, and Pufal's pretty big too. And that guy's just a big dude, And yeah, Pufal's just his striking right now, I think, is on another level, and I can't wait to see him make that jump to pro as well.
What did Pufal say after the fight? I'm sure you got some inside info. What were his immediate thoughts afterwards?
I think he just was surprised how tough that kid was. Pufal has he hits hard, dude, and he couldn't put Ed away how he thought he was going to, I think. And how I thought too. I thought he was going to knock him out, but Ed's tough. He's got a lot of heart.
This might be a silly question, right? But see, I know Ed pretty well, so he's a great guy, right? When you look at him with the tattoos and the hair and the beard, he's kind of a scary looking dude if you don't know him. Is that ever anything as a fighter that goes through your head before you're getting ready to whether it's spar with someone or fight? I mean, tell me what you think just from your point of view, and maybe if Pufal said that before getting ready to fight Ed.
Yeah, Pufal didn't say anything. I think maybe some people like could do like an intimidation factor, but I think it's a fight. You know, you weigh in the same day either way. He might be a little bit heavier than you, but it's a fist fight, man. It's just, you can't be intimidated by somebody's look, you know.
Mhm. He does look like he's straight out of Sons of Anarchy, though. You got to give that to me, right?
Yeah, he does for sure. He's got a whole personality for him.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, so also Key Baltazar, he lost to Nate Dorr in the 135 title fight. A lot of people, I think, maybe didn't expect that, but Nate Dorr looked really, really good in that fight. As his teammate, what do you feel like the takeaway is for Key? How's his spirits right now?
Yeah, he's back in the gym training. You know, he took another tough fight after that door fight down for Cage Titans. He fought Teddy Politis, and he's just taking tough fights. You know, he was 2-0. Nate Dorr, I believe, was 2-0 as well. Then he took on another great contender down in Cage Titans, and both fights just didn't go his way. He learned from both of them. He's in the gym now, working on those mistakes, and he'll come back better.
Now we still got a couple weeks before May the 13th is actually here. NEF 52 again, Portland, Maine, at the Aura nightclub. The NEF could release some more fights. I'm sure they're going to be right around the corner. Can you give me a number as to how many competitors will be there on the NEF 52 card from Nostos?
So right now, including myself, we have three. We had a little bit more, but injuries happen and stuff doesn't always go your way. But right now we have myself. You have John Hersey, who will be making his debut, his amateur debut, and then crap, I don't know why I'm forgetting another person. I'm blanking right now.
But there's three. You're saying there's three total as of right now.
Yep, Alex Morris. That's right. Alex Morris will be there. He's making his second fight. He has another tough fight. So, yep, right now we got three guys.
Okay, the Alley Cat. Very good. In a perfect world, Nathaniel, 2023 goals. How many times are you hoping to fight as we move towards 2024?
Uh, after this fight, I'd like to fight at least two more times. And I think that'd be a goal. You know, I think I'm taking that. They have a card in July. I think it's best for me just to sit out that one and help out the teammates and kind of just focus on getting better. But I'd like to fight on two more times this year.
An official prediction here at NEF 52. How do you see this fight ending?
I'd love to get a third round finish. I've been working hard on keeping a pace the whole round, expecting a tough fight. So I'm looking for a third round finish. I work hard on my cardio. I wanted to just show all my skills this fight. I want to show I can strike, I can grapple, I can mix it up. I have everything to finish this guy.
Why not a first round finish? You just don't anticipate that. You think he's too tough or it's going to get into the third round?
I think he's super tough. I think I can bring him to the third round and get him to make a few mistakes. You want to talk about guys inspiring. Ross, his past fights have been inspiring. He gets those third round finishes. So looking at somebody like that, I want to follow in his footsteps, put on an exciting fight, and then get the finish and don't leave it to the judges.
I love it, man. Can't wait to see you back in action. Again, Nathaniel Grimard meets Robert Wusstig, May the 13th at NEF 52. As always, man, great talking to you. Appreciate the time. Before we do sign off, I want to kick it over to you. Tell people where they can follow you on social media. If you have any sponsors, anything to plug, or anyone to thank, the floor is yours.
Hey, man. Thank you. I appreciate you having me again. Instagram's just Nathaniel Grimard. Facebook's the same as well. I have a lot of sponsors, so I won't go on too much, but a few that have stuck with me from the beginning is Hagen's Motor Pool in Rochester, so I want to give them a shout out. And then we also have Seven's Barbershop in Biddeford, Maine, where I was up there for a little bit, so they've always done great for me. And then Devin and Carolyn Powell, they do enormous things for the gym and all the fighters, so I want to give them a big thank you as well.